Hi everyone, welcome to Laughing with Facts. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Now on to the video. Ever wondered how a snake could eat an egg 3 times the size of its head? Meet Dasypeltis, the egg-devouring maestro. In the vast world of slithering serpents, Dasypeltis stands out, and not just for its tongue-twisting name. Don't let its unassuming appearance fool you. This snake, my friends, is a master of disguise, a connoisseur of omelets, if you will. Where can you find this extraordinary creature, you ask? Well, Dasypeltis, also known as the egg-eating snake, is a native of the African continent. From the arid dunes of the Sahara Desert to the lush rainforests of Central Africa, these hungry reptiles can be found wherever there's a potential egg breakfast waiting. But what makes Dasypeltis truly unique isn't where it lives, but rather what it eats. While most snakes are known to feast on rodents, insects, or other small creatures, Dasypeltis has a one-track mind, and that track leads straight to the egg aisle. Eggs, you see, are this snake's bread and butter, or rather its sole dietary preference. Imagine a teenager let loose at an all-you-can-eat buffet. That's Dasypeltis at a bird's nest. The snake slithers up the tree, gobbles up the eggs, shell and all, and then, like the world's most efficient recycling machine, it spits out the shell, perfectly crushed and devoid of any nutritional content. What's more, the size of the egg doesn't seem to deter Dasypeltis. It's like a magician pulling out an endless scarf from a hat, only in reverse. The snake can consume an egg 3 times the size of its head. Now that's a feat that would make even the most voracious of eaters green with envy. So, next time you're whipping up a breakfast omelet, spare a thought for the egg-eating marvel that is Dasypeltis. And remember, in the animal kingdom, it's not just survival of the fittest, but also survival of the hungriest. So, if you're an egg, you'd better start running when you see a Dasypeltis coming your way. But how on earth does a Dasypeltis manage to swallow an egg whole? It's not like it has hands to hold it, right? Now this is where things get fascinating. The Dasypeltis, or as we like to call it, the egg terminator, has a jaw that would make a circus contortionist green with envy. You see, the snake's jaw isn't fused together like ours. Instead, it has a ligament connecting the 2 lower jaw bones, allowing them to move independently. Imagine being able to eat an entire watermelon without cutting it into pieces. That's the Dasypeltis for you. This extraordinary jaw flexibility is not the snake's only party trick though. It also has specialized throat muscles that pull the egg down its throat. Imagine a conveyor belt, but instead of boxes of chocolates, you've got bird eggs rolling down the line. Now you might be wondering, what about the eggshell? Doesn't it hurt going down? Well, that's another genius feature of the Dasypeltis. Its esophagus, or food pipe, is lined with bony structures called vertebral processes. These act like a built-in egg cracker, breaking the shell into tiny pieces once the egg is safely inside. It's like having a food processor in your throat. So, let's recap. The Dasypeltis spots an egg, its jaw dislocates like a supernatural being, the egg goes down the hatch, gets cracked by the snake's inner egg cracker, and voila! Breakfast is served. But wait, there's more! The Dasypeltis doesn't just stop after 1 egg, oh no, it's a serial egg terminator. One after another it can consume up to 6 eggs in one go. That's like eating 6 whole watermelons for us. Talk about an egg-traordinary capacity. And there you have it, folks. The Dasypeltis, an egg terminator par excellence, using its jaw-dropping, literally, abilities to gulp down eggs like a pro. It's a contortionist, a conveyor belt, a food processor, and a cereal eater, all rolled into one sleek, scaly package. Who knew yoga classes would be so handy in the reptile world? Now the egg is inside, but how does it get broken down? It's not like there's a mini hammer and chisel inside, is there? Well, as a matter of fact, it's not far off. No, we're not talking about a tiny construction crew of snakes in hard hats, though that would make quite the scene, but rather a cleverly evolved biological process that's just as effective. Let's dive into the belly of the beast, shall we? Once the egg is swallowed, it travels down the esophagus and into the snake's stomach. Now, the Dasypeltis doesn't have teeth to chew up its food like we do. Instead, it has something far more interesting. Specialized vertebrae that can actually crack the eggshell. Imagine a strong, muscular esophagus acting like a conveyor belt, moving the egg to the perfect spot. Then, these vertebrae, like expertly wielded tools, apply pressure to the egg, causing it to crack. It's like a well-oiled machine, with each part playing its role to perfection. But hold on, it gets even better. Once the egg is cracked, the snake's stomach acids take over. These potent juices dissolve the shell, leaving only the nutritious yolk and albumin, the egg white. It's a bit like a natural internal egg poacher. The Dasypeltis has taken the phrase, "you are what you eat," to a whole new level. And what about the shell? Well, it's not needed anymore, so the snake simply regurgitates it. It's a bit like returning a package you didn't need, except a lot more slimy and less polite. So, there you have it. The Dasypeltis, a master of internal egg cracking, making the most of every meal in the most efficient, albeit slightly gruesome way. It's a fascinating glimpse into the wonders of nature, where even the seemingly impossible becomes possible. So the next time you're making scrambled eggs, remember the Dasypeltis doing the same thing but in a slightly more internal fashion. So, the egg has been devoured and digested, but what about the shell? Surely Dasypeltis doesn't keep it as a souvenir. After all, it's not like the snake is running a museum of eggshell art in its digestive tract. You might be curious to know that Dasypeltis has a rather uncanny way of dealing with the remnants of its eggy meals. Once the snake has had its fill, savoring every bit of the nutritious egg white and yolk, it's time for the shell to make its exit. But how does it do that? Well, imagine a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat, except in this case, the magician is a snake, the hat is its body, and the rabbit, well, it's an eggshell. Here's how it works. Dasypeltis has a series of muscles in its esophagus that act like a well-oiled assembly line, painstakingly pushing the eggshell towards the exit. It's a slow and methodical process, which is quite a contrast to the snake's usual fast-paced lifestyle. But don't be fooled by the snake's patience. It's not being sentimental about the eggshell, reminiscing about the delicious meal it once was. No, it's all about practicality. The shell is sharp and could potentially cause damage if it's expelled too quickly. So, the snake takes its time, methodically pushing the eggshell out, millimeter by millimeter. It's a process that might seem tedious to us, but for the snake, it's just another day at the office, or rather, another meal at the table. But here's the kicker. The eggshell comes out in one piece. That's right, the snake somehow manages to keep the shell intact throughout the whole process. It's a little bit like a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat without disturbing a single hair on its body. And voila, the shell disappears, just like your last relationship. But how does Dasypeltis find these eggs? It's not like the eggs are sending out invitations. This slithering sleuth, the Dasypeltis, has a knack for finding the most elusive of eggs. When it comes to egg hunting, the Dasypeltis is the Sherlock Holmes of the reptile world. It's got a nose for clues, a taste for adventure, and a hunger for, well, eggs. You see, the Dasypeltis doesn't need an invitation to the egg party. It's got its own VIP pass, and it's called Jacobson's organ. This special sensory organ, located in the roof of the snake's mouth, is the Dasypeltis' secret weapon. It picks up chemical signals from the environment, helping the snake to locate its next egg meal. So, how does it work? Picture this. The Dasypeltis flicks its forked tongue out, capturing scent particles from the air. It then retracts the tongue and presses it against the roof of its mouth, where the Jacobson's organ is located. The organ analyzes the scent particles and sends a detailed report to the snake's brain. It's like having your very own egg radar. And what about the snake's eyesight, you ask? Well, the Dasypeltis doesn't rely on its eyes to locate eggs. It's all about the scent and touch. The snake's sensitive belly scales can feel the subtle vibrations of a nesting bird or a scurrying rodent. This can lead it right to the egg jackpot. But the Dasypeltis doesn't stop there. Once it's on the scent trail, it follows it relentlessly, slithering over rocks, squeezing through gaps, and even climbing trees if necessary. It's like an egg detective, hot on the trail of the egg culprit. So the next time you're scrambling to find your eggs, remember the Dasypeltis. This snake has turned egg hunting into a fine art. It's not just an egg predator, it's the egg whisperer. So if you ever lose an egg, you know who to call. So, what makes Dasypeltis so good at being an egg terminator? Well, let's dive into the egg-ceptional adaptations this snake has evolved to become the master egg cracker it is today. First off, we have the snake's jaw. Now this isn't your regular snake jaw. This jaw is a marvel of nature's engineering, designed to open wider than the snake's own body. Imagine if you could unhinge your jaw to eat a watermelon whole. Sounds like a party trick, right? Well, that's just another day in the life for Dasypeltis. Now let's move on to the snake's throat. It's lined with sharp, backward-facing teeth. These aren't for chewing, oh no. They're for gripping onto the egg and pulling it into the throat. It's like having a built-in egg conveyor belt. But here's where things get really interesting. Inside the snake's esophagus, there's a special bone called the vertebral hypophysis. This bone, folks, is the secret behind the snake's egg-cracking prowess. It acts like a hammer, smashing the egg from the inside. Picture Thor's hammer, but smaller, and inside a snake's throat. Now you may be wondering, what happens to all the shell pieces? Well, after the egg is crushed, and the delicious insides are sucked up, the snake simply regurgitates the shell. talk about efficient recycling. And lastly, we can't forget about the snake's senses. Dasypeltis has an acute sense of smell, allowing it to locate eggs like a canine sniffing out truffles. It's like having a built-in egg detector. So there you have it. The Dasypeltis, with its jaw that could put a crocodile to shame, its egg conveyor belt of teeth, its Thor-like hammerbone, its efficient recycling system, and its super sniffer, is truly a superhero among snakes. And as our superhero slithers away into the sunset, remember this: with great power comes great egg responsibility. So what have we learned about our friend Dasypeltis? It's time to recap, folks. Firstly, we've unveiled the scaly mystery that is Dasypeltis, the snake with a unique diet, a strict eggetarian, if you will. This snake has been cracking open the mysteries of nature quite literally with its specialized egg-cracking expertise. Then, we delved into its egg-terminating antics. This creature with an appetite as large as its body can swallow eggs whole. It's no joke, folks. Dasypeltis has the extraordinary ability to determine which eggs are worth its time and which ones are just a shell game. We then journeyed into the fascinating inside story of Dasypeltis. The snake's internal structure is a marvel of nature's engineering. With a flexible esophagus and a spine that can stretch to accommodate its eggy meals, this creature could teach even the most seasoned yoga practitioner a thing or two about flexibility. Next, we examined the Dasypeltis's exit strategy. This snake has a knack for expelling eggshells, almost as if it's saying, well, that was egg-citing, but I'm done now. We also learned about the Dasypeltis as the egg whisperer. This snake's ability to detect eggs is nothing short of extraordinary. It's like it has an internal egg radar, always tuned into the breakfast channel. And who could forget the egg-ceptional adaptations of this creature? From its jaw structure to its specialized vertebrae, every part of Dasypeltis is designed for one thing: making omelets out of unsuspecting eggs. So, it's clear that Dasypeltis is not just another snake in the grass. It's a specialized, egg-loving machine, a true connoisseur of the egg world. And while it might not be the kind of guest you'd invite over for an egg hunt, there's no denying its extraordinary abilities. And there we have it, folks. Dasypeltis, the egg-cracking, shell-expelling, egg-detecting connoisseur of the snake world. Please like and subscribe and see you soon.